Greetings and salutations, everybody. Strategic Sage here with another AI War 2 patch update. 1.328 is out as of yesterday, February 13th, and it's titled Light and Shadow. There were several previous versions in the beta branch. We're back now to the main release for everybody. And that refers to the visuals. There's a bunch of balance changes as well, but let's take a look at a couple of those visual things. If we go hop in here to the macrophage, the teliums here have a different look. You see they're bigger, and they've got this, circular green structure going on. And then, if we take a look at the force fields, which are one of the main things that got changed several times, the look is actually similar to what it is before, but they're bigger. And they tried several other different things with them. A whole bunch of stuff, far too many to go into here, have different models, or updated models, or models that look a little bit nicer but are similar, etc. The lighting in the planets is somewhat different, and generally makes things a little bit more visible with like the asteroid ring and everything around the outside. But the main thing from a gameplay point of view is that the force fields are larger. They no longer get bigger as you mark level them up. They're all a standard size, and then they may change the size over time. But then they are overlapping our turrets now, so I'll have to move those eventually if that becomes a problem. That's our basic change. The strength of them, I think, is the same. They simply, have a standard size. Okay, so balance issues. One thing in particular that's worth noting is the change to counterattacks. If we look at sorties, first of all, the threshold for them starting a counterattack is lower, especially on higher difficulties. But then also, it was previously the case that, you see where it says strength 90.65? The mechanic was you had to have a fifth of that strength in the system to stop the counterattack. So that would have been about 18 or so. Now you have to have half. You can see our requirement is 45. That is a really big difference in terms of making it harder to stop counterattacks from happening. Both sides of that, the additional force that you need and the fact that they will start sooner. So the AIP floor still goes up 35%. If you're on difficulty 7. At difficulty 1, it goes up by 20%, and difficulty 10, it goes up by 50%. So AI progress reduction is less effective as you go up through the difficulties. There's a couple other balance changes related to that. When you start the game, the data center, that will be one of them, fairly close to your homeworld, but on difficulty 8 and higher, they will be progressively further away on average, the additional ones, so it's harder to get to them. Again, that's more likely that you'll have to reach a higher mark level or do deep striking or things of that nature. Difficulty 10 also now has improved AI defenses. Dire Guardians have gotten a long delayed buff, and the AI golems on the AI systems, like the armored ones that we took down in Sortis, those also got buffed. The armored golem as well, we'll be seeing the new one, of course, hopefully later in this game down there, has been reduced because people were marking those up to really high levels and they were just ridiculously overpowered. So they got nerfed. And the Dyson Sphere and Macrophage have also been changed, and you'll see this most in new games. We won't be able to show all of the Macrophage stuff, but basically their pathing is different, their logic is different. They've got, they start out smaller, the harvesters that they produce, but they scale up faster. And so the idea is that in a longer game, they're hoping they're going to be more of a threat than they previously have been. The Dyson Sphere, we've had some problems with that thing over here in Tesla, and they now produce, among other things, they get, I think they get more ships. There were some buffs that were done to them, but they also get a new kind of ship, which is going to be a defensive type of drone to help them hold on to their system. As we can see here, they've lost it again, but we'll see if they can hold off the AI any better next time I clear it out, once they get some of their new defensive drones in place, because they tend to produce their ships and just send them off to attack. And so attacks against them are faring a little better than is desired. So that's something that's being worked on. And then also, the Warden and Hunter fleet have been changed some. Now, one of the things that's been sort of in the professional meta strategy, this is the best way to play idea, is to cut off sections of the galaxy from the AI, because any warden fleet in those sections would try to pass somewhere, and then it would get stuck because it's trying to go through one of your worlds if you've cut it off. Like if you can just imagine, for example, if there were some in Dietz, they would have nowhere to go. They didn't go through a human system, and since the warden fleet's not supposed to go through human systems, they would simply stay there and do nothing. So there was a fix put in for that. And the hunter fleet has also been made effort in becoming more aggressive, something that's been a work in progress for a while. So we'll see if that has a significant impact. So again, a bunch of balance changes, but the light and shadow relates to the visuals, and there'll be multiple things like that that you'll probably notice in your games. I think definitely the AIP floor is one of the most significant changes here, along with the Dire Guardians and some of the other balance changes that were made. So that's pretty much going to cover it for the major things on this patch. As always, check the link in the description below to the wiki patch notes. And we'll see you next time. We have another patch of significance coming down the line. Thanks for watching, everybody.